Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to What's the Damage, the good old WTD question mark here on my channel, the longest running series on this channel of all for reckon time. My very first video ever was What's the Damage, and I say that in every single video now because I want to emphasize how old I am on this platform. 6 freaking years, nearly 6 years now of recording videos, and not finding success or monetization or fame, but that's cool because I do it for the love of creating content. This is just a hobby of mine that I love to do, but it is getting exhausting. Coming up on 800 freaking videos now, aiming towards 900 before the year is over, but let's just keep going and hopefully it'll lead to something one day, and today is going to be a very rare video because it's very, very rare for me to do a What's the Damage based on basketball, which is a sport that I love and can find very little things to complain about, so it's really rare for this to happen, but it has happened before in the past. But mostly my basketball videos are in in the mixer, where I talk about athletes and players and stuff. Today is going to be something very specific, tailored towards something in the NBA that I think is headed in the wrong direction. The title may have already given it away, Maybe I should start making my titles a bit more ambiguous because sometimes the thumbnail and title literally give away what I'm going to talk about, so there's literally no suspense. But anyway, so here's the thing, guys. Basketball is a sport that has changed a lot over the years, and I actually started watching it just a few years ago, and throughout that time I haven't really seen any humongous, notable, crazy changes to the sport or the league itself, but you can actually look back on it and see how many changes there are over the decades. Every single decade in the NBA since its inception in the 1940s has had major changes. It's really hard to see them implemented once and then the very next year you're gonna see the huge effect that it's having. It takes years for us to see the changes actually take effect. Now there are players who have forced rule changes over the years and league structures, and different penalties. There are a lot of different ways that basketball has evolved. If you look back to basketball way back in like the 60s and 70s and compare it to today, obviously it seems like two completely different sports, and throughout my time that I've been watching, I haven't really seen anything too noteworthy, but then again, I don't have the time or the energy to watch all 82 games of a regular season of my team, which is the Lakers, but I'm always up to date, following what's going on. And today I'm going to be talking about the three-point field goal, okay, which is today a very, very useful arsenal in a basketball team, because back in the day, guys, you see the three-point line was actually tested back in 1945 for the first time ever, 1 year before the NBA was even founded. It was actually at a collegiate level, so only college basketball players tried it out from a 21-foot line, and it wasn't very popular at first, and every year, every decade since, they tried to implement it in a few different competitions here and there, and it was largely unsuccessful because it really didn't make a lot of sense for people to try sharpshooting because the NBA didn't have a lot of very good long-range shooters back in the day, and everybody was used to just scoring baskets that were worth 2 points, As the years went by, though, we eventually got to the 70s, when the NBA was starting to gain more traction because of notable players. And then at the very end of that decade, in 1979, that's when the three-point line was introduced to the NBA officially, so players could now score baskets from beyond the arc, which is what they called it, the line, to score baskets that were worth 3 points. The problem is that a lot of the players found it very unpopular because, for one thing, they didn't grow up practicing it, Nobody knew what the hell they were gonna do by shooting from a line that was a little further from the basket, Nobody was used to it. Nobody knew what the hell to do with it, And of course, because of this, because of the dog outside barking for no reason, what is going on out there, dude? I guess, I don't know, he got scared of something. So anyway, the coaches also had no idea how to implement it into their strategy because how are you going to make an offensive strategy by using something that your players did not grow up practicing, So it took a long time for the three-point line to become popular, Back in the day, guys, like in the 80s or so, the 90s, players would shoot about maybe 10 three-pointers per game. And as of recently, they try about 35 to 40 per game. So the margin has gotten a little higher since then, In the 80s, one of the players that made it very popular was Larry Bird of the Boston Celtics because he was a very prominent long-range shooter. He was really phenomenally good at shooting the ball from three-point range, and it was actually really hard. If you've seen highlights of Larry Bird, man, it was really freaking crazy. It was freaking crazy what this guy could do, As a matter of fact, just because I feel like it, I'm going to show you guys a clip here now of Larry shooting a three-pointer.
Brown fakes the shot, back to It was for two. Team record is 7. The NBA record is 9.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Maybe a three.
Pretty impressive, huh? Pretty impressive, man. The hick from French Lick really started a revolution, you know? By the time he retired, he was actually known as the greatest three-point shooter in the history of the NBA, and he actually had the most amount of three-pointers made in his career. But of course, he would be largely overshadowed by a certain man called Stephen Curry, you know, who emerged, you know, in the early 2010s, you know. Actually, he was drafted in 09, you know, for the Warriors, but, you know, he largely dominated that decade there. Now, the years went by, you know, the 80s came to an end, then the 90s came around, you know, with the Chicago Bulls dynasty and other players who were starting to make the three-point shot more and more popular. But of course, it would be from the 2000s onward, you know, with the emergence of players like Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, and Tim Duncan, you know, where the three-pointer would become much more popular and even effective. Fast forward just a little bit more, we have LeBron, we have, of course, like I said before, Stephen Curry, LeBron James, and Damian Lillard, you know, some other really good players as well. The NBA today is very largely dominated by three-point shooters, you know, because it's a skill that's very useful for any player to have, you know, because if you have a couple of shooting and point guards who are good at the three-pointer, then you can largely dominate a game within minutes, you know. Because the harder you are to guard from outside of the arc, the more shots you're going to put in, you know. And Curry does a very good, shows us a very good example of this, you know. Now, depending on the league that you're talking about, the three-point line is actually further or closer to the basket, right? So it changes in accordance with the regulations of the NBA, the WNBA, the NCAA, you know, the NCAA, that's how we say it, the National College Association, right, of basketball. And then there's also the FIBA World Cup. You know, each competition and tournament has its own little distance there, but it's most popular in the NBA, you know. And the thing is that a three-pointer today, it took decades for it to become a normal staple of the game, you know. And today there are players like Curry who very rarely ever miss a three-point shot, you know. And there is this thing called a deep three, you know, which is basically because a three-pointer can occur from anywhere in the court outside of the three-point line, but a deep three, as the name suggests, is one that is taken from a little bit deeper from that line, you know. So we're talking like from half court, more or less, a little forward, a little backwards, from around that distance there. And a few players, quite a few actually, have landed half court shots before. There have been a few impressive buzzer beaters as well, which, if you're not familiar with basketball, a buzzer beater is a shot that is taken and goes in as or right before the buzzer beats, you know, because a buzzer signifies the end of a basketball game. So when the buzzer goes off, the game is over, and a player can take a shot and it's still in the air heading towards the basket. Then the buzzer goes off and the ball goes in. That is a buzzer beater. And of course, they are much more impressive when they are three-pointers, you know. Man, I have seen quite a few buzzer beaters, man, and it's freaking crazy. But so the thing is that the three-point shot today, you know, at first a lot of people weren't really that open to it. They thought it was just a gimmick that the NBA was trying to implement, you know, to make itself more popular. But of course, we see today that it is essential in a basketball game. If a team does not have good open three shooters, you know, open three-point shooters rather, they're going to suffer a lot on offense. But the thing is that few players have actually the gall to be able to take a successful three even being guarded. Steph Curry is a good example, you know. You can put 2, 3, even 4 players on him, he will still sink that three, you know. That guy is just a killer assassin, you know, with the three ball. And the thing is that I personally think that it is indispensable in the league today, but for a player to score from that far away and manage to hit it, and that is a very nice breeze. Oh my god, this is the perfect day to record, man. Nice silence, a little breeze, sunlight. So anyway, if you really make yourself good with the three-pointer, you are going to be an indispensable asset to your team, you know. Now, like I said before, deep threes, they are not as common as the regular three, but there are players who are very exceptional and they can really land those suckers from very far away, and it is incredibly hard to defend, you know. If somebody gets off a deep three, it's going in, buddy. If they hit it right, it's going in. You can't guard that. You can't defend against it unless you want the ref to call a goaltending foul. But anyway, so before I continue, just to illustrate a little bit more about my point here and to get into the main crust of the video, I'm gonna show you guys now 3 different clips here, okay, illustrating some deep threes. Well, one of them isn't so deep, but no, it's still pretty impressive all the same. Now, it's gonna be in this order here. First, you guys are going to see Steph Curry sink a deep 3, okay? And then right after that, you're going to see LeBron James sinking another 3 against Steph Curry, you know, playing against the Golden State Warriors when he was in the Lakers. And I'm gonna rephrase that. The first one is Steph sinking a 3 against the Cavaliers. Then you're going to see LeBron sinking a 3 against the Warriors over Steph Curry. And then last but not least, you're going to see Damian Lillard of the Portland Trailblazers sink a 3 against the Lakers and LeBron James. So that's a mouthful. So let's take a look at all 3 of those clips now, one after the other.
Durant the rebound, still plenty of time. No fouls to give for Cleveland. Ahead to Curry. Curry sets, fires, puts it up. Bang! Steph Curry from way downtown. And the first half comes to an end in dramatic fashion. James, 2 defenders on him. To Caldwell Pope inside. He's tied up by Green. Throws it back up top. James puts up the 3. Oh, it's gone! LeBron James from downtown as the shot clock expires.
Number 5 tonight for Hassan.
And it's because the Lakers can't have that much spacing. You know why? They don't have many three-point shooters.
Like that! Like that! Damian Lillard laces one up on the Lakers, and the Blazers now lead by 3.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh? I think it's nice how I kind of ordered that, you know, because we had, you know, Warriors against Cavs, you know, Steph with the 3-pointer, then, you know, LeBron against Steph, Lakers, Warriors, and then, you know, Damian against LeBron, you know, Blazers versus Lakers. But anyways, so those are just a few examples of how a deep 3 or a regular well-placed 3-pointer can be the difference between in a game, you know. And the 3 players that I used are very good, prominent 3-point shooters in the league today, and they have scored quite a few impressive buzzer beaters in their career, you know. But right now, I'm going to finally get into the main crust of the video and the reason why you guys are here, why you clicked on this, which is, of course, the 4-point field goal. Now, I'm pretty sure that it's obvious at this point. If a 3-point field goal is a basket that's worth 3 points, a 4-pointer is just that. It's a basket that's worth 4 points with a line that is a little bit further away than the 3-point line beyond the arc, you know. Now, the NBA has not really fully implemented this yet. I actually think it's just a rumor. I don't know if it's actually going to be a real thing, but it seems like it might just be like this thing that they're talking about, you know, on the commission board, you know. But the thing is that honestly, the 3-pointer has been prominent for so many decades now that maybe just now is the time to try something new, but I don't think this is the solution because a 4-pointer is going to be very stupid, man. I really hope this is just a rumor and that they're not actually considering using it, because it would turn it every single game. For example, if you have Steph Curry playing against a certain team, it's going to turn into a blowout win for the Warriors every single time, man. A player like Steph Curry is going to average like over 90 freaking points per game, and the Warriors might win by like 200 points or so, you know. They might put 200 up on the board easily if Steph gets to do a 4-pointer in every single game, you know. There was one game where he nailed, I think, like 11 threes, man. His career high was 62 points, you know, I think in the last season or second to last season, you know, where he put up quite a few 3-pointers as well. So players like him would blow this out of the water. And right now, the 4-point line is used only in the Big 3 League, which is a 3-on-3 basketball league, you know. And it was actually founded in 2017, just a few years ago. And the way that it works is that there are 3 distinct circles between the 3-point line, you know. So if a player is in that circle and he manages to score a basket, it's going to count for 4 points, you know. It's really, really stupid. It makes no sense at all to me, you know. It was introduced once by the Harlem Globetrotters in competition, and even back then it was horrible because, dude, you can score. Basketball to me right now seems very balanced the way that it is, you know. You score a free throw, that's 1 point. You score a layup, that's 2 points. You score a 3-pointer, that's 3 points, right from beyond the arc, outside of the paint, that's 3. If you start if you start giving us the option to score 4-pointers, you know, it's going to be really stupid because now it's going to be largely unbalanced, you know, depending on the team who's shooting and who is playing against who, you know. It's really, to me, it's so unnecessary, man, because now you're going to have the free throws worth 1, the layups or regular shots worth 2, you know, and then from beyond the arc 3, and even more from beyond the arc 4. Next, you're gonna have a freaking 5-point line. I know it's gonna be ridiculous, man. Next, free throws are gonna be worth 2, layups are gonna be worth 3. It's gonna be a freaking mess, you know. I'm all for the game changing and giving us different rules and regulations and league structures. That's fine, man. But changing the actual game itself is stupid, you know. That's like playing, like, I don't know, NBA Jam and getting power-ups to score more points in the baskets or something. It's really freaking strange, you know. Next, you're gonna take soccer and make every certain goal. Maybe a long-range goal is gonna be worth 2 now. It's just stupid, you know. There's no reason for this to happen. And trust me, mark my words on this, man. You're hearing it here first. If the NBA ever implements the 4-point line officially, you guys have heard it here first. It is going to terribly unbalance the game. It's going to be so ridiculously scaled towards just one side that it's going to be really hard to watch, you know, because if you get a player with more than one 3-point shooter, because right now, man, the Warriors are actually really good from long range. Now, of course, you have Steph Curry. Klay Thompson is also phenomenal from beyond the arc, and Jordan Poole himself is pretty okay from shooting threes, you know. So if you take that roster there, which just won the NBA championship, by the way, that the same dynasty won the championship 4 times now, right? So I believe now the 7th in total for the Golden State Warriors, you know, and a lot of that was because of the Splash brothers, you know, Curry and Thompson. So if you take these players and allow them to shoot a shot that is now worth 4 points, it is going to be ridiculous. Nobody's gonna freaking stop them. These guys are gonna go on a damn 82-0 run in the regular season, and they're gonna blow out every team in the playoffs, man. It's not a good idea. Imagine Larry Bird shooting 4-pointers, man. I mean, the Celtics would have been unbeatable back in the 80s, you know. It just doesn't make any sense at all to me. But hey, to each his own. This is just my opinion, you know, and if you guys are having a hard time picturing how this would work, you know, how ridiculous it would be, I'm gonna give you a very good example here now, okay? What you guys are gonna see here is a clip by this rapper called Jack Harlow, who actually landed a 4-pointer in an NBA All-Star Celebrity Game some time ago, you know, and you guys are going to see the 4-point line there, you know, on the court and where he shot it from, and you're going to see that on the stat line, not the stat line, you're gonna see on the scoreboard that his side is gonna go up 4 points. It is very, very stupid. It's like an arcade video game. Take a look right now.
Bro, well, you know what though, RJ? You're actually supposed to be with.
Oh, you better get over that fast.
I'm fine. We good right now. We
with the
good.
4-point shot, the Ruffles 4-point shot.
Yeah, that was freaking ridiculous. I mean, what the hell? And mind you, this was 4 months ago, back in February, man, you know, so it's recent, man. It happened this year. What if the league decides to implement this into the sport? You know, it's gonna be freaking ridiculous, man. I mean, just looking at it, it just felt cringy, you know? It literally felt like I was playing NBA Jam, you know? I mean, it's very strange, you know? And I'm all one for adapting to changes in sport. I've been watching the same sport, which is soccer, for over 10 years, you know, so I have seen many changes there as well in different competitions, you know, but it's gonna be very weird, man, you know. It's like if the NHL starts giving out, like, I don't know, penalty shots scored or now worth 2 points, you know, it's gonna turn into freaking the 3 versus 3 mode that I play in NHL 22, where you can get the money puck, which gives you more points or lessens the other team's points. No, it's gonna be ridiculous, man. It's not gonna feel like a professional league anymore. Now, of course, this might have just been this particular celebrity all-star game, you know, one specific context, you know, one specific court. I don't know, man, okay? I just know that it was weird, okay? And I just didn't like it. You know, I did not like it. I think that this is going to completely tip the scale in favor of certain teams and certain individual players in the NBA, you know, because if you can get a 4-point line in the NBA going, then certain teams are going to want to desperately draft or buy or trade other players, you know, to get some very good 4-point shooters on their side now. Because the way that it is now, man, players like Curry putting up several impressive threes during a game, that's already good. He actually shot quite a few threes that gave the Warriors their championship recently, you know. So imagine if he had shot 4, man. Just bear with me here for a second. Go to a game where Steph Curry shoots I don't know, 10 3-pointers, you know, and that's gonna give him a certain percentage. Which, you know what, guys, you know what, man, I'm gonna do it just for fun, just for a random little bit of fun. Where's my damn calculator? Where's the stupid calculator? Okay, I'm gonna use it on my phone. Just for us to mess around with this, you know, let's take just Steph's three-point shooting, okay? He scores 10 three-pointers. That's gonna give him 30 points a game just from threes, okay? So then you go ahead and multiply that by, why am I making this so hard? It's just 10 times 4. I needed my calculator for that. Well, that's embarrassing. I'll probably remove this part in post. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, just forget what I said. Okay, so clearly math is not my strong suit. 10 times 4, okay? Steph shoots 10 four-pointers in the game. That's going to give him 40 points, you know? Or actually, yeah, that's going to give him 40 points just from four-point range. That sounds so weird. So imagine scoring 40 points in an NBA game on average is already hard, you know? So imagine somebody who does that just from four-pointers, and that's not counting all of the free throws, you know, and the regular layups and two-pointers that he takes, you know? So Steph can probably average about 70 freaking points a game, and if a four-point line was a thing in the NBA. So it's really not a good idea, you know? Imagine every single goddamn week a player puts up 70 points on the board, man. That's gonna be unstoppable. That guy's gonna break every single. Kobe Bryant put up 81 in 2006, and that was already a freaking freak of nature, you know. And let's not even talk about Wilt Chamberlain scoring 100 back in. Well, then again, Wilt Chamberlain's game in the 70s was different, you know, because basketball was more faster paced then, and the other, like, it was easier to score buckets, and of course his team was literally feeding him the ball all night. But that's beside the point. Imagine Kobe Bryant back in 06, man, when he scored 81. If there was a four-point line, he would have scored like 130, dude. Holy freaking crap. But anyway, that's my opinion, guys. I don't think that the four-point line is a good idea, not by a long shot. But to all of you other NBA fans out there, I would love to hear your opinion, you know. I'm actually wearing a random fun fact. I'm wearing my Purdue shirt today. You know, it's a college basketball team. I'm just randomly wearing it because I haven't put this shirt on in a while, and I guess it kind of melded with the theme pretty well, okay? Let me know in the comments below. I am legitimately curious about all of you NBA fans out there. Maybe this is just a rumor that I blew out of the water, out of proportion. Maybe it was never considered at all. Maybe it's just an idea, but I have heard talks about this floating around, and after seeing that Jack Harlow clip that I showed you here, I just think it's ridiculous, and I want to know from you guys if you think a four-point line is a good idea in the league, and if it is, you know, you actually want it in the NBA, you want it in certain games, you know, maybe just playoffs or maybe just the NCAA, I don't know. Just let me know what you guys think, okay? I'm really curious to know, but that's my opinion. So if you guys happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day, and while you're at it, might as well hit the notification bell to know exactly what time I upload. And that's it, guys. Wow. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.